Stranraer is a town in Inch, Wigtownshire, in the west of Dumfries and Galloway, southwest Scotland. It lies on the shores of Loch Ryan, on the northern side of the isthmus joining the Rhins of Galloway to the mainland. Stranraer is Dumfries and Galloway's second largest town, with a population including the surrounding area of nearly 13,000. Stranraer is an administrative centre for the West Galloway Wigtownshire area of Dumfries and Galloway. It is best known as having been a ferry port, previously connecting Scotland with Belfast and Larne in Northern Ireland. The last service was transferred to Loch Ryan in November 2011. The main industries in the area are the ferry port, with associated industries, tourism and more traditionally, farming. The name is generally believed to come from the Scottish Gaelic and tson rimha, meaning the fat nose, but which more prosaically might be rendered as the broad headland. Another interpretation would link the second element in the name with Rarigonium, an ancient settlement noted by Ptolemy in this part of Britain. A person from Stranraer is a Stranraerian, someone from the original Lochside part of the town, including Shuken Street and Agnew Crescent. The clay hole, or in local dialect, CLY hole, is a clay hole or KLE hole. Transport. The A77 runs north towards Ayr, Prestwick and Glasgow. The A75 runs east from Stranraer to Gretna, with links to the M6 going to Carlisle. The A75 is part of European Route E18, but, like all European routes, it is not signposted as such in the United Kingdom. The main national coach providers operate services from Stranraer. National Express offer a service to London, and Scottish City Link operate services to Edinburgh. Local transport in and around the town is provided by Stagecoach Western and 3 local companies, McCulloch's Coaches. Stranraer railway station is the southern terminus for one of the branch lines of the Glasgow South Western Line. Trains are provided by Abellio ScotRail daily to Ayr, Glasgow Central and Kilmarnock. From Stranraer, connections to the West Coast Main Line can be made at Glasgow Central, or travelling via Ayr, Kilmarnock, Dumfries to Carlisle. Onward trains from either Glasgow Central or Carlisle connect direct to London Euston and other destinations such as Manchester Piccadilly, Crewe and Birmingham New Street. In November 2011, Stena Line relocated its ferry services to a new port at Old House Point, north of Loch Ryan, which is a few miles north of Stranraer. The existing port in Stranraer may be redeveloped with the departure of Stena Line. Proposals to build a transport hub have been made. Both Campbelltown Airport and Glasgow Prestwick Airport, at around 45 miles, are the closest airports in Scotland to Stranraer. Belfast City Airport in Northern Ireland is 39 miles distant. Redevelopment. The European Union is partly financing the Stranraer and Loch Ryan waterfront project for now and future generations, at an estimated cost of £1.29 million. The Castle Square development will be the first phase of the redevelopment of Stranraer town centre and significantly change the flow of traffic, with Castle Street and George Street both being narrowed in a bid to be more pedestrian-friendly. By January 2010, work on the streets around the town centre was complete, with the streets around the Castle of St John repaved and reprofiled. The Castle Square was formally unveiled in March 2011 and has so far hosted a range of activities, including music and family events. Stranraer is currently undergoing redevelopment in the south-central area. Historic and notable buildings. The Castle of St. John is a medieval tower house built around 1500 by the Adaires of Kilha. It has been used as a home, a court, a prison, and a military garrison, the last during the killing times in the 1680s. The old town hall, built in 1776, now houses the Stranraer Museum with its displays of Victorian Wigtownshire and the town's polar explorers, Sir John Ross and his nephew James Clark Ross. The town is also home to the Northwest Castle, built in 1820 and the first hotel in the world with its own indoor curling ice rink. Landmarks. Local tourist attractions include Ardwell Gardens, Castle of St. John, Castle Kennedy Gardens, a 75-acre garden between two lochs, noted for its rhododendrons, azaleas and embothriums in the grounds of Loch Inch Castle, the seat of the Earls of Stair. Glenluce Abbey, a 12th-century Cistercian monastery. Glenwan Gardens, a 12-acre garden near Dunragit. Logan Botanic Garden, near Port Logan Village, one of the 4 sites of the Royal Botanic Garden, Edinburgh. Mull of Galloway, the most southerly point of Scotland, with a lighthouse. Visit Antoinard SPB Bird Reserve. Port Patrick. The Robert the Bruce Trail begins at Loch Ryan, near Stranraer. Southern Upland Way, a 212-mile coast-to-coast path between Port Patrick and Coburn's Path. Stranraer Museum, Whithorn, with its relics of St. Ninian. Wigtown, Scotland's national book town. Education. Stranraer has 5 primary schools: Belmont Park, Brefad, St. Joseph's RC in Shuken. The secondary school, Stranraer Academy, is a comprehensive school consisting of 1 modern building. The school has around 1,200 pupils, 90 members of staff, and serves the area of Stranraer, the Rhins, and parts of the Machars, Wigtownshire. Stranraer Academy has another 7 associated primary schools from areas out with Stranraer: Glenluce, Castle Kennedy, Drochdale, Drumore, Kirkholm, Leswalt, Sandhead and Port Patrick. The original Stranraer Academy was opened in 1845 on the site of the present Stranraer campus of Dumfries and Galloway College. In 1965, a new academy was built alongside a new high school, and in 1970 the schools amalgamated. Stranraer has no private education institutions. Dumfries and Galloway College has a campus in the town. In 1990, the John Niven Further Education College was built on Academy Street in the town. It has since been absorbed into the Dumfries and Galloway College. Sport. The town is the home of Stranraer FC, the local semi-professional football team who play at Stair Park. They currently play in the Scottish League One. The rugby team Wigtownshire RFC are based in the town, playing at London Road playing fields, opposite Stair Park, and are currently in West League Division 2. Also at Stair Park are BMX and skateboarding ramps, and all-weather tennis and netball courts. The town also has a swimming pool, fitness suite, gymnasium and large sports hall at the council-run Ryan Centre, as well as other football fields, parks and all-weather multi-purpose pitches. Throughout the years, Stranraer has also been a centre of excellence for Scottish curling. The town boasts the first hotel in the world with an indoor curling ice rink, and was the birthplace of Hammy Macmillan, a world champion curler, who continues to live in the town today. The town is host to a number of annual curling championships, including the Scottish Ladies Curling Championship and the World Juniors Curling Championship. There are also 2 lawn bowls clubs in Stranraer. Both clubs have won major national and international honours in recent years. A small leisure boat marina was constructed in Stranraer Harbour in 2008. Public services. NHS Dumfries and Galloway provides healthcare services in the town. The Galloway Community Hospital opened in 2006 and replaced the Garrick and Dalrymple hospitals of the town. GP services are based in the Waverley Medical Centre, adjacent to the new hospital. The town has several care homes for the elderly, the biggest being Thornycroft on the edges of the town, run by the CIC Company. Media. Local newspaper The Stranraer and Wigtownshire Free Press is based and printed in the town's St Andrews Street. The Galloway Gazette also covers the town and surrounding area. Stranraer falls in the ITV border television area. The nearest radio station is based in Belfast, however, the nearest local station is based in Dumfries. West Sound FM broadcasts at 96.5 FM in the town. In June 2009, Stranraer started the transition from analog to digital television, making it one of the first areas in the country to do so, behind Workington and the Scottish borders. This opened up a number of digital services for the town and the surrounding area, which previously struggled to get even the likes of Channel 5 on the television sets. History. The Battle of Loch Ryan was fought near Stranraer on 9/10 February 1307 during the Scottish Wars of Independence. King Robert I of Scotland's invasion of his ancestral lands in Annandale and Carrick began in 1307. The Annandale and Galloway invasion force was led by his brothers Alexander de Bruce and Thomas de Bruce, Malcolm MacQuillan, Lord of Kintyre, an Irish sub-king, and Sir Reginald de Crawford. The force consisted of 1,000 men and 18 galleys. They sailed into Loch Ryan and landed near Stranraer. The invasion force was quickly overwhelmed by local forces, led by Dungal MacDougall, who was a supporter of the Balliols, Commons and King Edward I of England, and only 2 galleys escaped. All the leaders were captured. Dungal MacDougall summarily executed the Irish sub-king and Malcolm MacQuillan, Lord of Kintyre. Alexander, Thomas and Reginald de Crawford were sent to Carlisle, England, where they were executed. The heads of MacQuillan and 2 Irish chiefs were sent to King Edward I. On the 12th of November 1595, the Clashant of Stranraer was named part of Ninian Adair's lands of barony, and in 1596 was erected into a borough of barony, the barony of Kinhilt. This is recorded in the Register of the Great Seal of Scotland. The partial translation into English is, at Linlithgard, the 12th of November 1595, the King confirms and for faithful service again dedicates to Ninian Adair of Kinhilt, and the legitimate male heirs of his body, which failing his nearest legitimate male heirs whosoever bear the name and insignia of Adair. In addition, the King creates the village at Clawchain-Stranraer as a free borough of the barony with a free port, called the Borough and Port of Stranraer, and the said Ninian etc. shall have the authority to appoint a bailiff, treasurer, dean of guild, magistrate, burgesses, officials etc., and the burgesses shall have the authority and leave to pack and unpack, to buy and sell etc., and the said Ninian etc. shall have authority to hold the position of governor of the said borough, to hold weekly markets on Saturday, with free market days twice a year, viz. St. Barnabas Day the 11th of June, and at Peter's imprisonment called Lammas on the 1st of August, and the said Ninian etc. shall have authority over all the port customs of the said borough raised by seer land among the land tenants of the said borough and support of the said port, and the said Ninian etc. shall have authority to receive resignations of lands of the said borough etc. from those persons whatsoever who chose to dispose of them. The townspeople may meet 3 times a week on Monday, Wednesday and Friday. By 1600, Stranraer had become the market town for western Wigtownshire. At about this time, Stranraer was reached by a military road built from Dumfries to allow easier access to Port Patrick for transportation of people to Ireland for the plantation of Ulster. Stranraer became a royal borough in 1617. The first harbour in Stranraer was built in the mid-18th century, with further port development in the 1820s. The arrival of the railway from Dumfries in 1861, giving the shortest journey from London, finally established Stranraer as the area's main port. In 1862, the line was extended to serve the harbour directly, and a link to Port Patrick was also opened. In 1877, a rail connection north to Girvan and Glasgow was also established. Stranraer remained the main Scottish port for the Irish ferries for the next 150 years or so. On the 31st of January 1953, 133 people died when the Princess Victoria sank near Belfast Loch after its car deck was swamped by heavy seas. Stranraer and its surrounding area saw a significant amount of activity during the Second World War, as it became a focus for anti-U-boat work. Flying boats operated from the area in an attempt to secure the waters of the North Channel and the southwestern coast of Scotland. Almost all of Britain's shipping imports passed through those two sea areas en route to the Clyde or the Mersey. Indeed, the flying boat supermarine Stranraer is named after the town. Winston Churchill himself departed from Stranraer in a Boeing flying boat on the night of the 25th of June 1942, when making his second visit of the war to the USA. Churchill also spent time at nearby Knock-in-Arm Lodge during the war years. Stranraer has an active local history trust, which publishes work on the area's history, commissioned from a local authors' gallery. District Salesgate, Ales of U, Bishopburn, Auchrelure, Shuken Parks, Liddesdale, Stair, Stranraer Town, West End, Outer District Auchrelure, Black Parks, Culhorn, Gallow Hill, Inch Parks, Innermestlin, Sandmill, Salseed. Notable people: David Broadfoot, hero of the 1953 Princess Victoria sinking. Sir James Caird, agricultural writer and politician. Colin Calderwood, football player and manager. James Dalrymple, 1st Viscount of Stair, jurist and author of The Institutions of the Laws of Scotland. John Dalrymple, 1st Earl of Stair, sat as MP for the borough of Stranraer in the 1689 Convention Parliament. Thomas Hamilton, recipient of the Victoria Cross. Leander Starr Jameson, leader of the Jameson Raid, a precursor of the Second Boer War, and Prime Minister of the Cape Colony, and editor of the Wigtownshire Free Press. Robert William Jameson, author, editor of the Wigtownshire Free Press, and father of Leander Starr Jameson. Alan Jenkins, footballer. Sir John Noble Kennedy, army officer, author and colonial governor. William King, author, Slayer novels and Space Wolves, favoured by tabletop gamers. Keith Knox, footballer. Kevin Kyle, footballer. Alan Little, BBC foreign correspondent. John Claudius Loudon, landscape gardener and horticultural writer, who laid out the grounds at Castle Kennedy in 1841. Rory Oy, footballer. Robert McDowell, officer, Napoleonic Wars. William McFadyen, Baron McFadyen, industrialist and president of the Federation of British Industries. Hammy Macmillan, world curling champion, 1999. Sean McSkimming, footballer. James Maver, economist, economic historian and professor of political economy and constitutional history at the University of Toronto. John Rennie, naval architect. Sir John Ross, polar explorer. Dame Leslie Strathy, Chief Executive of HM Revenue and Customs. Peter Wilson, World Junior Curling Champion, 1981. Craig Hamilton, rugby player.